Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Humikane at YouTube with another review build. Now, I haven't done a Mecha Musume kit for a long time, and even between then, 1 year ago, I played around with these couple of figures, chopped them up, had just a bit of light fun, and presented them at the 2014 Model Expo. Unfortunately, I lost a part to it. Didn't touch it for a very long time, but dusted it off and ready to put this video together. It is not my best work, but please enjoy. Mecha Musume is a part of the animated anthropomorphism, which is more or less animated cute humanish characters being mixed in with animals, objects, and in our case, military vehicles of historical nature. As far as I'm concerned, the trend has started with Humikane Shimada, or I shorten to Fukuman, the creator of the Mecha Musume original artwork, which became a toy line, the animation Strike Witches, KanColle, as well as the Bustu Shiki toy lines. So the image below is an example of that, and this is the sort of thing I attempt to recreate in my own style. So what I did, I purchased a very cheap Sega crane game, Saber Lily, and I was given this unknown character from the Wave Beach Queen series, and the idea is to stick the two figures together, which is disproportionate to each other, though the idea is to showcase the skirt and the legs as some sort of armoured aspect of a battleship, and the head and torso the humanistic part of it. The goal is to follow the trend, make it very cute, a little sexy, just have fun. So I immediately started chopping up the cheaper figure first. It is a soft vinyl or PVC. I found the cheaper, larger figure to be of a very rubbery consistency. The more expensive, smaller figure was very hard and easy to work with. The rubber consistency is a bit trickier, reacts very well to super glue, and does take to drilling and pinning, as well as the application of epoxy putties, so nothing too troublesome. I purchased some metal aftermarket cannons for a battleship very cheaply, and applied Tamiya Quick Type epoxy putty to be able to contour the torso to the dress. Rare earth magnets was stuck into both halves, and the small torso was dremeled in to fit the magnet inside. The actual legs were also sculpted to have KanColle style armor components to make it look like the legs are covered in mechanical armor. Mounting points and magnets were applied around the dress, and using styrene 1mm sheet, I cut up multiple blocks in the shape of very basic battleship turrets, and used a Dremel and saw to cut them to interesting shapes and detail further them with more styrene sheet about 0.5 millimeter thick. Using putty and glue, I was able to glue on the turret cannons and apply squadron putty around all the rough bits, and sanded back to a very smooth model kit like surface. From a 72nd Airfix Panzer IV kit, I used the wheels as the base point of mini machine gun nest turrets, and glued the smaller brass cannons to that to show a ton of machine gun turrets, a lot like the side of a Japanese World War II looking battleship, something like Yamato. I dremeled a hole into each turret and stuck a magnet inside, as well as the mounting points in the figure. Magnets were also glued on top of that so they could stick to each other perfectly. This gave the turrets a degree of being able to be removed for transportation, as well as articulation for posing and play purposes. The torso is also magnetized to be dismantled for transportation, and all of the putty mounting points were sanded up for to get rid of all the fingerprints and rough parts for aesthetic purposes during painting. Now, I do enjoy the character of Saber, and not knowing who the top half character is, I took the ponytail and scrunchy bun from the Saber figure, pinned the back of this character, and glued the ponytail on the back. There was no problems in sticking a metal wire piece into the two materials and gluing them together. Sadly, in between Model Expo 2014 storage, some other events, and today, those accessories, as well as a tiny Zero Fighter or Seahawker, I don't remember what aircraft, was also glued on the head as a fascinator. This does disappoint me. Another article of a hair follicle sticking up was sculpted on top of the head and painted yellow. Across the dress, using a syringe and PVA glue, I applied a ton of rivets all over the place to resemble a hull of an early warship. Now, the best part of having the top of the figure removable, all I had to do was paint the hair and the fascinator. The bottom half is completely independent of the flesh, and I can go crazy with airbrushing, weathering, and whatnot. The whole surface was primed using Tamiya primer via airbrush. I did a very heavy black pre-shade of all the folds of fabric, the cannons, the detail on the turrets, and whatnot, and slowly shaded from a dark grey to a lighter grey. Sort of a post-battle, battle-damaged, soot everywhere from cannons, post-apocalyptic sort of fantasy thing. It was just a bit of fun and free handing with the airbrush. The figure was finished off with a black pin wash around detail and folds in the clothing and in the armour of the legs, followed by a top coat of matte. Everything was assembled and ready for photographing. Even though there is a big contrast of the battle damage and the sootiness of the dress and the clean upper body, it sort of resembles like clothing that you could take on and off armour, but you know, the body's washed and whatnot. It's a complete fantasy concept. It was a bit of fun. I put it on display, and being at an IPMS military model show, there was a bit of amusing looks, sneers, or people not sure what to make of it, but it was just a fun creative thing. I did it in a very short period of time of a week or two in between other projects, and just intended it to have it on display when KanColle was a new concept with artwork out and the announcement of a game and an anime. Nonetheless, I felt a bit disappointed that it had only been in the public sphere one or two times, and put it to storage without having any photos or videos made of it. The whole work in progress just sitting on my laptop. Thought it was worth whipping together and sharing. I think it was kind of cool. Far from perfect, but just interestingly playing around with toys and model kits and creating something. The experiments I did on this inexpensive project will lead to something more interesting in the future, leading to next week to my most current build, which is something to be somewhat proud of. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, I hope you guys have enjoyed this interesting build. I hope it inspires some of you to try something like this. It's just in the name of good fun. Catch you guys later.